Hi, my name is Olivia Clement, and this is my story. I'm 16 years old and I'm a grade 11 student at Howard S. Billings. Those who have known me for a long time, sports have always been a part of my life.
Hi, my name is Christy and I'm Olivia's mother.
I'm Randy and I'm her father.
From a young age, she was involved in a lot of sports activities.
And it probably started 5 years old. Well, it was a good way for her to learn discipline, work as a team.
Exercise, it was good exercise.
It was good exercise.
The timeline of my soccer career as of right now is I played at Timbits, then I continued into house league, did house league up until I was 9 years old, and then I joined an intercity academy for Chateauguay. Participated in intercity, that's like A, and then I moved to double A. And then in 2018, I made the decision to leave my Chateauguay AA team and pursue AAA soccer in Ville Saint Laurent. On May 12th in 2019, the Ville Saint Laurent team was playing against Brassard team. I was put on the field and I was battling with this girl. I'm a defender, and I was battling with this girl. I was not letting her get around me. So she went to move one way, I followed her, then she moved the other way and I tried to follow her, but my knee was still stuck in the initial position and my knee gave out and I heard a pop. I could not get up at all. A physiotherapist and my coaches had to carry me off the field because I could not get up. I remember trying my very hardest to push up off the ground, try to get up, but I couldn't. And right away, that's when I knew that this was not like an ankle sprain or a knee sprain or like a pulled muscle. It was something entirely different.
You were in pain. We could see you were in pain. I'm thinking maybe it's your ankle. It wouldn't be the first time. But then when we saw you getting carried off the field and the pain that you were in, that's when I noticed or realized that this was severe. This was bad.
They had to carry me off the field, and the physiotherapist, he took me to his work table and he started to do a bunch of these tests, extending my leg, moving it around, and after all these little tests, he said, all your ligaments are fine. It's probably just a knee sprain. But the next few days, my knee was really, really swollen and I still could not walk on it. So my parents then took me to the hospital, I think 2 days after the injury. We went to the hospital and I was in the room with the doctor, and she also did this series of tests that the physiotherapist did, and yet again she said, all my ligaments are intact, but if it continues to hurt, get a referral to get an MRI. I think a week went by and I still couldn't really walk on it. It was still swollen. There was a little bit of bruising as well. So then my mom finally took me to go see my family doctor, and he gave me a referral to go get an MRI scan. I was lucky enough that my mom works at the Jewish General Hospital, and so she quickly got me a MRI scan. So I went in for that, and they told me it would take a month to get my results for the MRI scan. During this time of waiting to get the MRI scan, I was doing extensive research to try and figure out what was wrong with me, or trying to self-diagnose myself. The biggest indicator that I knew that I was trying to research is the pop that I heard in my knee. I continued to do my research, dig a little deeper, and see if all of my symptoms matched up. And of course they did. The symptoms that I had was, of course, you heard the knee pop, a lot of swelling, could not extend my leg properly, couldn't walk on it. And literally all of those symptoms, they checked off the boxes of what I had. So at that point, I think I self-diagnosed myself with a torn ACL without even hearing anything from the doctor. Later, when the results for the MRI scan came in. Sure enough, it was a torn ACL and also a partially torn meniscus. At that point, our family doctor recommended us to go to the Shriners Hospital so I can meet with a surgeon. That's where I met the wonderful Dr. Berman. He was my surgeon for my ACL repair. At that point, Dr. Berman said, yeah, you have a torn ACL. Let's fix you up and let's book you a surgery.
So my name is Mark Berman, and I'm an orthopedic surgeon here at the Shriners. So the ACL is a ligament, which is a band of tissue that connects two bones together. So it's inside your knee and it connects your thigh bone to your shin bone. And it prevents those two bones from moving and pivoting and rotating on each other. So when you're doing sports that require a lot of stop and go in two directions and cutting and pivoting, like soccer or basketball or rugby or football, those kind of movements, if you don't have an ACL, will cause your knee to buckle and give out on you, make you fall. So an ACL tear is when you do often one of those movements, and because the force in your knee is so great that the ligament can't hold it anymore and it tears. So usually people will feel pain, they'll feel a pop in their knee. The knee gets very swollen, and as time goes on, they find that they don't have confidence or stability with their knee. Generally, we replace it. So we take tendons from another part of your body, often from the back of your thigh, the hamstrings, but sometimes we can take it from a tendon in front of your knee called the patellar tendon or the quadriceps tendon. So there's various different places we can take the tendons from. And then we take those tendons and we drill holes in the bone where the ACL belongs, and we attach those new tendons through those holes with various kinds of screws and buttons and staples to keep them in place and to allow the tendons to heal to the bone. Yeah, they're very rare, but it's a very big surgery. So anytime you get any kind of surgery, there's always complications that people can get, such as abnormal bleeding, because a lot of the stuff that we do causes bleeding. People can get infections, people can get blood clots caused by the surgery. You can get sometimes accidentally or inadvertently certain important structures like blood vessels or nerves can get in the way and can get injured or damaged. So those are all serious complications that can happen, but they're also very, very rare.
Yeah.
The surgery itself is not that long. It takes about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours maximum. But I think the difficult part is the rehabilitation and the physio that goes on for months and months and months and months afterwards. That can become very tedious and boring, and sometimes it's hard for people to see the light at the end of the tunnel because it takes like 9 months to a year, sometimes even more. I think the physical challenge of regaining all your muscle strength and muscle control and just doing a lot of those same kind of strengthening exercises to build up the muscle around it are probably the biggest physical challenges. I think psychologically, those are probably even the bigger challenges. The challenges of staying motivated and seeing the end of the road and seeing that there's a goal to attain and being able to stick with it and to not get discouraged if there's setbacks, because every so often you'll take two steps forward, 1 step back.
We booked a surgery date for sometime in August, but I was unfortunate enough to get sick like 3 days before my surgery, and so we had to postpone the surgery and think of another date. The new date that was given to me was September 13th. Sure enough, that time came around and I did not get sick, and I went in for surgery. I got a lot of questions asked. Are you nervous for tomorrow's surgery? What are you feeling? What are your emotions? And honestly, right now in this moment, I'm not scared or nervous. I'm really excited to finally get the surgery because I've been waiting so long. Just want to get the surgery over with so I can get back into playing soccer and get back to doing things that I love, like playing sports and running and just having fun. I know it's going to be a long road to recovery. The doctor said it's going to take about 9 months of rehab. It's going to be lots of physio. As of my emotions feeling right now going into surgery, I'm fine. I'm not feeling anything, just excited like I said, but I have a feeling tomorrow when I get into the surgery room, I'm going to be very, very nervous. Yeah, you guys will see that tomorrow, so bye. Good morning, guys. It's the next day. It's September 13th, and I'm getting my surgery today. How I started off this morning was I dressed into some comfy clothes. I have a t-shirt on and sweatpants on, and now I'm brushing my teeth and we're leaving. Pre-ops, so I was with a lot of nurses for a really long time. They were all super, super nice though. They made me feel comfortable. They made me feel less nervous and less scared. So I'm in the bathroom and I'm changing into my gown. I have my cap and to put on my feet. The video clip that you just saw, they were taking my blood pressure, my temperature, and my vitals, I guess you'd say. So now I'm going to change into my gown. And I don't think I put this on right, but yeah, this is what I look like.
Mommy, no, you have to put it the other way.
It's Dr. Malenfant, that's the anesthesiologist today. She's going to come and talk to you and talk to Mom and Dad, and she'll explain everything that she's going to do, but she always likes to give Tylenol before. So the grape one is a chewable, and there's 2 adult ones.
Do I have to take all of them?
Yeah, all of them. I just want to see your bracelet. Perfect. Birthday. Any allergies?
No.
Did you take any Tylenol in the past 6 hours?
No.
Okay. You're able to swallow pills okay?
Someone else just came into my room to explain to me all the anesthesia factors of everything. So she said that I could either get the mask on me or get a shot into my arm for the anesthesia. And I chose to do the mask because I am terrified of needles. So hopefully that'll go smoothly.
Scribble on your left one.
Okay, everyone was teasing me that because it's Friday the 13th, they're going to operate on the wrong leg.
That does not even on Friday the 13th. Let that happen. That's why you get scribbles everywhere on your leg.
So my surgeon came to see me, and also he came to mark my leg so they know which leg to operate on. So it's like arrows pointing to the knee and where they're gonna operate.
So here we're looking at the torn ACL. The ball in the front is actually the torn part of the ACL, and the part on the left-hand side of the screen is the remnant of what's left of the ACL, and it belongs on the right-hand side of the screen in the big hole and void that you see. The yellow on the right-hand side is the bone where the ACL used to be attached that we're using our pointer to point to right there. So the tissue on the left that the probe is touching now, and the big ball there in the front is what's left of the ACL that used to attach to that yellow. This is the meniscus right here that the metal probe is touching. It looks like a little shelf between the two shiny bones, and that is showing that there was a tear within the meniscus on the underside. So this is an instrument that we use that actually uses heat to cut things, so the heat generates all these bubbles in the water, but it kind of vaporizes all the tissue there that's attached to the bone, and what we're doing is preparing the bone so that we can find the place to drill in the holes for the new ACL. And so there we're using a shaver that shaves away all the tissue that's in the way or that's torn and damaged, like this big ball of tissue which was the remnant of the ACL that was torn. Okay, so here we're starting to drill the hole in the bone on the femur, which is the thigh bone. So we've drilled that pin in the center where we want to make the hole, and then we use 2 different drill bits to make that hole big enough to accommodate the new tendons. So this one here is looking at the finished hole or the tunnel that we drilled in the femur, and we've marked that hole by putting that little suture or string through it so that we can find it afterwards and drag our graft through there. But you can see it's on the side and it's going right up into the bone. And so in this picture, we've already drilled the second hole, same as the first, in the tibia on the bottom. And now these strings are pulling the new ACL into place. That's the new ACL that's coming into place. And we've marked it with a little purple biological marker just to get a sense of how far we have to pull it. The graft is in place and secured on the femur on the top. Then we can pull back and make sure it's solid. And then right there, we're moving the knee, bending it and extending it to make sure that the graft is sitting in the proper place and isn't getting pinched by any bone on the side or on the top. And then we'll secure it through the tibia, which is the shin bone on the bottom, with a screw, a dissolving kind of screw that's inside the bone.
Hi guys, so I'm out of surgery. It's 12:50. I'm in the wake-up room. I have an IV drip. Yep. I have an IV drip on my hand. They're taking my blood pressure here. I feel like I'm still a little under the medicine, but under the anesthesia. I got 2 doses of morphine for the pain for my knee. So the last thing I remember was going into the operating room, and they transferred me from my stretcher to the operating table, and then they put the mask on me. I breathe in, breathe out for a practice test, and then they put the real mask on me. Breathe in, breathe out, and that's when the anesthesia was in, but it didn't work. So I had to breathe in while the mask was on again. And then I remember giggling off, and then I was just like, ooh, I fell asleep. And I'll show you what I look like. So this is called a Zimmer splint. It's to keep my knee straight and stabilized. I have a bandage. So I moved from the 3rd floor to the 4th floor. So I was crying tears of joy after I got out because I'm just so happy that the surgery is finished and I can start my road to recovery. I don't know if you can see, but there's like 2 different colors on my skin. You have like, it's a purplish, pinkish, and then my actual skin color. That's because of the disinfectant soap that they disinfected my leg with, and so it left it this color. When I got home, it was really difficult once being like a super active person and then being mobilized. Like you can't even walk, you know, you have to use crutches to go everywhere. First few days struggling to go up and down the stairs was quite troublesome. Hello, so today is day 3 after surgery and I can finally take a shower. I can finally wash myself. We're gonna unwrap my leg and take a shower. How much did they freaking put? Oh look, you have a mark of something right there. There's blood. There's dry blood. Okay, don't freak out.
There's where we're gonna put some the waterproof bandage. Okay.
You should do that.
Do I take it off?
Yeah, take it off. Put it here. It's okay. It's
I don't know, I'm a little overwhelmed. Kind of scared. I didn't want to see blood or cuts or anything.
But it's normal.
Yeah. So here's the difference of my legs, of my knees.
I may have to go buy gauze like that to re-put on her leg.
If I'm pressing right here, I actually don't feel anything. My knee is numb, I guess.
Not having the mobility after surgery, not being able to do the things that she was doing before. There was a lot of frustration. So you're going from being extremely active and fast-paced with almost everything to lying in bed for a week and not being able to do anything.
5 days after my ACL reconstruction surgery, and we're headed back to the hospital for some physiotherapy, my first physiotherapy session.
So here, if I put my hand right here, try to crush my hand. Go. Just a little bit there. Here, that's you. Sorry, go ahead and relax. Good. And if I lift, okay, that's okay.
Yeah. I remember doing my physiotherapy like the first day, and I'm like, I should be able to do this. Like, that's crazy to think that just 4 days after surgery I could do certain exercises.
Here, if you put your hands under your thigh to help you out a little bit. Yeah, you can pull with your hands. Good.
It feels like there's like a rubber band touching me.
Yeah, in the front. Yeah, no, that's what it is. Really good. Go ahead and straighten up.
After surgery, I went right into physiotherapy. It was 5 days later, I think, and then I went to do physiotherapy at the Shriners Hospital. I did physiotherapy for a very, very long time, going once a week to see my physiotherapist and doing my exercises at home as much as I could. At the time, I think it was 3 times a week or 5 times a week. So we are currently at the Shriners Hospital, and we're waiting in the cast room to wait for Dr. Berman to come and check for my knee. So a nurse just came in and told me that Dr. Berman's basically gonna look at my incisions. So I have to take off all the tape and the waterproof bandages that we put on, and I know it's gonna hurt. So let's just take off the tape. Ow. Oh, look how bloody it is. Can you? One incision here, one incision here, one incision here, an incision there.
Could be because it bled there earlier.
We all get that thought. It comes across your mind, I'm tired, I should quit. We all get those thoughts. It's not just you. But in order to finish, you gotta be able to take those thoughts captives. You gotta be able to talk yourself into it and stop talking yourself out of it. Man, I'm tired, I should quit. That's when you talk yourself out of quitting. You gotta have that mindset that quitting is not an option. Give up? Who, me? Never. Stop? Who, me? Never. That's for the next guy. That's for the next girl. But not me. Why? Because I don't quit. That ain't how I do it. That ain't how I roll. I never give up.
You must understand that there will come a time in your life that circumstances are going to challenge you no matter what you do. But you must never give up.
Don't let the obstacles discourage you and make you believe that it's not meant to be. Pursue when it's hard. Pursue even when it would make more sense to give up.
Not you, champ. You ain't the one. Not you, kid.
So I was just doing lots and lots of physio, like I said, and there are these physical tests that I would have to pass in order to return back to sport.
We'll test you in Baldex machine. This machine is measuring your muscle strength, both your quad muscle and your hamstring muscles. It measures also the endurance of the muscle, so it's have few categories. There are few categories also to go back to sports. One of them is the muscle strength, this the Baldex will measure, and the other one is the time. Since people here, they fail the test. Because it's very hard to get, to pass the test, you need that these muscles will be at least 10% of the other leg. Just 10% deficit, 90% of this. And it's hard. But I believe that you can make it. You will be in the 1-2% that can pass the test, because I see now how you need. But even if you fail it, don't be upset about it, because then it will give you, the numbers from the machine will give you a clue. Okay, my hamstring is weak. My quad, when I practice for more than a minute, then it becomes weak. So I need to work on my endurance, not just the muscle power, but the endurance. So it will give you a clue what you need to do in the rest of the physiotherapy.
Today is March 12th, 2020, and today is my big test for my ACL recovery. Apparently only 2% of people who take this test pass it, and I'm really hoping to be a part of that 2%. I've been thinking a lot about this test, and it really means a lot, because if I pass it, then I can slowly come back to practicing soccer. When I got to the hospital to do the Biodex test, I was extremely nervous. And then they hooked me up in the chair, and in my mind, I was like, okay, this is actually happening.
Go! Ale! Let's go! Iki! Push!
Come on. Harder.
Push!
Harder. Come on, give it everything you've got. Everything.
Push!
Push. Go. Come on, you can do it, Olivia. Let's go.
I did the biodex test and I thought it went extremely well. Like I said in the video, it felt like my good leg, my right leg, was more tired than my injured leg, my left knee. So I was really expecting to pass, and I had really, really high hopes. Not too long after the biodex, something unexpected happened. That's something that set back my recovery. Never in a million years would I have thought that this would happen to me or to the world. And what happened was we were in the middle of a pandemic.
About the deadly coronavirus.
First, the unfolding coronavirus emergency,
known as COVID-19, have risen rapidly.
One thing that happened was I was supposed to get my biodex results the next week. So my test was March 12th, and I think I was supposed to get it on the 18th or the 19th. And I couldn't go into the hospital to see my results and discuss with Dr. Berman, so I was stuck at home worrying, wondering, oh my god, I wonder what happened if I passed. Luckily, Tara Mackenzie, Dr. Berman's assistant, she sent the results via email, and there was a little discussion about it. So as you know, we were supposed to get the results March 19th, my birthday, and our appointment got cancelled. Didn't set a time to reschedule because who knows when this pandemic or this crisis will end. So my dad sent Tara sent her an email, and she responded saying this: "Hi Mr. Clement Olivia, here's Dr. Berman's response. She has not passed. All numbers must be below 10%, and her overall quad strength is below the norms. In any event, there is no return to play before minimum 9 to 12 months, meaning end of June at the earliest. If all were normal, she could start light training with her team for conditioning in 1 month with the guidance of physio. However, there are no practices for the foreseeable future and a doubtful season. She should continue training, redo a biodex, which was the test I took, in 2-3 months, and then to see if clear for full practice and progressive return into play." After reading this, I really, I had a hard time, grasping it, because I thought I did so well. Even the technician said I did well. So, knowing that, you have to work even harder when you think you've worked, you've pushed yourself and you think you've worked the hardest. No, it just takes a toll on you, makes you feel like everything you were working for, is nothing. Not passing the biodex really hurt me a lot because, like I said, I felt super strong and confident going into it, and I thought that I would be in the very few percentile who would pass the test. Even though I failed the biodex test, I was very, very close to passing. I think I had a very big difference between my quad muscles, between my left and my right. So that's something I had to work on. Another thing I had to work on was my hamstrings. They were a little weak. So yeah, I had to work on my quads and my hamstrings. With this information, I continued to do my physiotherapy at home. Because the hospital was shut down, I could not go in to do my once a week or twice a week physio appointments, and also the gyms were shut down. At that point in my recovery, I was where I was allowed to go to the gym, and I was using machines, and I was running on a treadmill. This is very important for physiotherapy when you're trying to get back into the game, because using those machines with those really, really heavy weights is crucial to you strengthening your muscles, and not having that again really set me back. So after the COVID lockdown had lifted a little bit, I was able to go have some appointments at the Shriners Hospital for physiotherapy and to see Dr. Berman as well. And one of the times that I was going to see Munib, my physiotherapist, he told me that I had another fitness test that was coming up around June. This fitness test would be another test to determine if I would be ready to return back to sport. And this consisted of testing my balance, my strength, my jumping, my agility. So it was jumping, running, balance. It was a bunch of things, a bunch of tests that I would have to pass in order to return back to sport. Once hearing this news, I finally found the motivation I was looking for. I had something to work towards, and that was passing this test and returning back to sport. When it came to the day of the test, at this point I was not nervous. I was very excited and very excited to finally get this test done and possibly return back to sport. When I got the results for my fitness test, we found out that I had passed the agility test, the jumping test, but I had failed the balancing test. With these results though, Munib said that I still had things to work on, but I could slowly return back to sport. I was ecstatic when I got this news. I was super excited because I could finally slowly move my way to going back to playing AAA soccer, which was my goal all along. With this news, I quickly jumped in back to the soccer world. So I went to go do my cardio with my soccer team, and I also went to Core Excellence, which was like working out, a lot of running. So I was going back into that, and also I was going to the soccer field with my sisters just to do some passing drills and some more agility. Finally, at this point, I was so happy. It felt so good to be touching a soccer ball again, to be running. Even though I failed some of my fitness tests along the way, I continue to do physiotherapy, and I continue to work hard and do my physio exercises to strengthen my knee. Finally, there came a point where my physio and Dr. Berman both said that I was cleared and I did not need to go see Dr. Berman again, and I did not need to go back to physiotherapy. But if anything were to go wrong, another accident, I was to call the hospital immediately and maybe book another appointment. Regardless of that though, I was so happy to finally be cleared to play sports again. I felt so accomplished and I felt so confident and ready to go back into the sports world.
There came a point where Olivia was cleared to start practicing with her team gradually, and really it was nice to see her back on the field with the team. So seeing her, I had a sense of proud. She was getting there. But it was nice to see her back out there with the team, being part of the team. And I think that's huge, knowing that you're part of something. Well, turning point was when you came to me after your physio appointment and said, "Dad, I ran on the treadmill. And you were crying. I was so proud. I ran for the first time." To me, that was a turning point because you were getting there. It was the beginning of showing that you were starting to get there. And that caught me. So.
I get the question asked, will you ever be the same player again? And when I hear that question, I think right now, I would say no, I'll never be the same player I was, because in the beginning, I was a very aggressive player, and I feel like that's what differentiated me from most soccer players, was I was not afraid to get down and dirty. And so once getting injured, I feel like I'm taking more precautions now, and I'm really overthinking what I do. And right now in this moment, I don't feel like I'm inclined to like go tackle that girl for the ball or just give her that extra shove, because I'm a little cautious and I'm thinking about my knee. But over time, hopefully I can get back to the soccer player that I once was.
The hardest part for me would be not being able to participate in sports, in any of the activities. Hanging around with your friends. That had a lot to do with your recovery. And it's unfortunate, but during your recovery, it ended up losing some friends. It's probably not intentional, but it just happened. Not being able to do things with your friends, well, they go out, they do things, and being left out, it's tough. I thought that was hard part for Olivia.
Yeah. It's the emotional and mental part of the recovery that's hard.
At the beginning of my recovery, my coaches often told me that the hardest part about recovery is not the physical aspect, but the mental aspect. And they were very, very right. There's so many things that you don't expect throughout recovery. At the beginning, I was very motivated, very happy, and just super excited to getting back. But as the recovery went on, so many things happened, and one of the things that happened was I lost my friends. Having restrictions really didn't enable me to hang out with my friends very much. I was in a Zimmer splint for a month, I want to say, and I couldn't do everything that they were doing, meaning I couldn't go pass a soccer ball around with them. I couldn't run around and throw the football because I had to be careful about the pivoting, about where I'm stepping. And so I often found myself not being invited to things anymore, and I was being left out. Recovery is brutal, and having someone by your side to get through it is very, very important, because you need your own cheerleader. And none of my friends, I didn't have any cheerleaders from my friends, you know. I didn't have people who supported me. I didn't have anybody anymore. And that made me very, very sad. I felt alone, and I felt disregarded. I felt unwanted, and this hurt me a lot.
It was hard seeing her struggle with why don't I have these friends? Why have they left? What did I do for them to leave? And that was hard.
So it was hard to watch.
Yeah,
it was hard to watch.
That was hard to watch. Yeah. You know, life was going on for your friends, and you seemed to be stuck in a moment. There were nights when she cried herself to sleep, and we can hear it, and didn't go into her room all the time, and she fell off to sleep, but it was definitely very, very emotional. You know, when your child is hurting, as a parent, you hurt as well. And that was hard.
So having not a lot of support from my friends really, really hurt and played with me on the mental side. But also COVID, that was restricting me from going to the gym, and not seeing Munib set me back. Also, failing the biodex test set me back, because I felt like, in my mind, I felt like if I didn't pass that, I was a failure. And that really did not motivate me to continue on and keep going throughout my recovery. So all those things combined, plus the stresses of school, really took a toll on my mental health. As I've said, I think I definitely changed throughout this whole experience. It really made me realize who is really there for me and who are the real people in my life. Another thing I took away from it was, like, I have gone through such a tremendous experience. Like, not a lot of people go through this, and the fact that I have overcome it really speaks about myself and my perseverance, even with all the setbacks like COVID and failing all those tests.
I think you're stronger for the trauma and the experience that you've gone through. You were 15 when it happened, and something like that can only make you a stronger person. You're obviously dealing with something that most kids don't have to go through. Ever. The physiotherapist had a big role, obviously a huge role in Olivia's recovery. His name is Munib. They got along extremely well. He's a really cool guy. Olivia liked him a lot. They clicked. There was a really good connection, and I think that's important. I think that Munib was her rock and her security blanket. Coming to the end, oof. After which she finishes, she didn't have that. She wouldn't have that. And I think knowing that, it's a little bit scary. As parents, we're always there for her, but she needed him. I don't know if at some part, if ever you felt like, were you doing all of this for nothing? Because the schools were closed, the gyms were closed, the sports were shut down, and when you're looking so forward to going back to the stuff you knew, it was, how much longer is this going to be? How much longer is this going to last? And so, as a parent, I felt deflated, defeated. Oh yeah, it was hard. But we also had to tell her that, remember what your goal was when we started. And what was the goal? It was to get back into the game that you loved and rejoin the team.
After hearing my story, I thought it was important to look at other people's stories and ask how their recoveries went. Everybody handles an injury differently. Everybody handles recovery differently. Some people take it seriously, some people don't. Some people lose their love for the sport that they once played, and other people are so determined to get back to it. And I think it's important that we recognize all those people and their different emotions, their different situations, and how they dealt with their recovery. So I interviewed a couple of other athletes who have had a similar situation to mine, and I asked them to tell me their story, and here it is.
Okay, so my name is Victoria Mayolo. I'm 16 and I play soccer. I tore my ACL and I partially tore my meniscus in June of 2018, and I was playing for a fundraiser at my dad's business, and I was playing against a guy who plays AAA as well, and my cleats got stuck in the turf, and when he pivoted to turn the ball, I pivoted as well, but my cleats got stuck, and then I heard a pop in my knee.
Did you, what aspects of recovery did you struggle with?
Mentally, I was really, bad. I was crying all the time, and I'm not a sensitive person, but my injury really was something that was really important to me because I grew up playing soccer ever since I was 2. And no matter what, like it's a part of your routine. Like if you play soccer at 16, it's because you love it now. It's not because like you're forced. Like when you're a kid, like your parents put you in it, but now like it becomes a reality. It becomes something that you actually love and like want to pursue. And like once I got my injury at like 14, like you think the worst, right? You think like, okay, I can't make Team Quebec now because there's no scouts, and like no one's gonna scout a girl with a 20s, and that's when the scouts normally come, is when you're 14. So that took a toll on me, and I was very angry against like the world, which I'm not. I try to be like the most positive person ever.
Did you return to your sport?
Yeah, I did.
Did you return to the same level?
I did, but not at first. At first, I went back just to get more like game time in and more practices. I went to the AA of my club as well as the AAA. I just played both.
Okay. Have you changed as a person from this experience?
I feel like I have. I feel like I take more stuff. Like I don't take stuff lightly anymore. Like I'm more grateful. Like, okay, you played a game, you're not injured, like, you're good. You know, like you're taking. Like let's say even if you lost, like I'm a very competitive person. So even when I lose the game, I'm very frustrated. But I still have in my back of my head, I'm like, okay, at least nothing's broken, nothing's injured. Like I could keep playing. You know, like I don't have to redo that process.
Do you feel like the same player you were before surgery?
No, sadly.
Do you think you'll ever be the same player?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Like I know I'm getting there. I just need to be playing. Like I'm missing something that's called like game mentality, because like I said, like,
I call it the soccer sense.
Yeah, the soccer. Like I'm just missing. Like I'm just missing like that thing, and it comes by playing games a lot and like, you know.
So hi, I'm Leah Element. I'm 23 years old. I play soccer, like intercity, but I'm gonna be in university soon. I tore my ACL and my MCL my first semester of college. I got scouted to play soccer at Vanier College, and it was my first game. I was a starter at left midfield. And I don't really know what happened. Like I was just like playing defense on a girl, and like our hips both collided, and like I just fell a wrong way. And and like I just fell. So my physio came to pick me up, and it already, like I was crying, and it started getting really big.
What was the hardest part of the recovery for you?
The hardest part was I was super devastated. Like my marks went really low because, like I said, I went there to play, and because of that, like, you know, I'd be with my team and like I couldn't play, and I was just like cheering them on the bench, but like I would still go to practices and everything to show my support, and obviously I wanted to be there. But it was pretty hard for me. I guess, like, I don't know, it was just like, it was a super sad like time for me. And because it's ACL and MCL, it takes a year to recover, right? Because it was a year, like I had a long time to just like I always wanted to do stuff with my physio, and she was always like, Leah, like you can't, not yet, you know, like not on the field yet, not on the field. And it was just long for me. It was weird. I loved playing sports. Like my brother, like he plays football, like we would always just go to the field and play together. But like I said, like for that year, it was like horrible for me, because I feel like that is the way I like, it's kind of like a stress reliever in a way, you know, like going for a run, working out with my brother, or just going to pass football or play soccer. And I don't wear my brace anymore, but that was a really big thing for me mentally and physically. Like I relied on it, you know. But when I took it off, I just pulled my sock all the way up, told myself that it was on, and I just played. Like I tried to forget that I didn't have it on.
So the whole thing with the brace, did you feel like in your head is like, oh no, if I don't have the brace on, I'm gonna get hurt again?
At the beginning, yeah. But then I was like, oh my god, it'll feel good to play without it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then it got to a point where like, well, I did all my workouts, I did all my training, you know, I did all what I had to do. I'm cleared, so I don't need to wear my brace. But I could wear it if I want to because it's in my bag, but I'm just not gonna put it on. And I remember that was in the winter season, like I played in the winter season, and I started not wearing it, and like I felt super good, you know, I felt free. And then I kept telling myself, okay, what's the worst that could happen? Like,
did you return to the sport at the same level?
No, I didn't end up going back. So I stayed. I made the team the second time around, but like it was just a lot for me, and I ended up just not continuing. I just needed to focus on my school.
You changed as a person from this experience?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, now I have a lot of knowledge from it. Like, if anybody needs advice or exercises, like, I'll help you. Like,
do you feel like you will ever be the same player you were before surgery?
That's a good question. My parents will say no, but I definitely lost some speed because of it. I'm still working on that. But if anything, it made me stronger, I find. At the end of the day, yeah, I wish it didn't happen to me, but yeah, I'm still grateful for like getting surgery and my experience so that, like I said, I could help other people. And when I'm playing, I know my legs are stronger now, you know, from all the workouts they make you do and everything you have to do to get cleared, so.
My name is Charlotte Dunsmore. I'm 20 and I play soccer and I'm playing university level soccer. I tore my ACL in my right knee and it happened when I was in grade 11 billing, so 2017, 2016. It's almost like 3 years now.
How did it happen?
I was actually playing touch football for the Billings team, and we were at like an away game, and I was like rushing, and I just ran like a different way, like on the turf, and my cleat like got stuck in the turf, and my knee just went the other way. It was so scary because I knew like it was something bad. Like I've hurt my knee before in the past, and like it was not the same feeling. So it was so scary.
You mentioned that you missed out on your first year playing at a collegiate level.
Yeah.
Like how did that make you feel?
It was so frustrating. Like that was something that I always wanted to do.
It was like a dream.
Yeah, it really was. And like when I got the news and like I would be on the team, I was like so happy, you know, something that I always wanted to do. And then like it was a few weeks before I had found out that I was gonna be on the team that I hurt my knee. So it was so frustrating, like, and being there and watching like the team play is even worse. Like, it's just so, like, it literally so emotional.
What was the hardest part of your recovery?
I think, like, obviously, like, getting myself to do like the exercises at home when like someone's not with you, like telling you what to do. That was like tough for me because it's really hard for me to motivate myself. Like I'm honestly like really lazy and like I just like I really didn't want to do it, but like I knew that I had to.
What was your mental health like throughout your recovery, from start to finish? How did it change?
Well, I was always like a really active person, like always involved in sports, and then having to go kind of from that to like not being able to do anything like so unexpectedly, like it was really hard to like make that transition. And I had just started college, like my first year, which is already like tough enough, and now I didn't have anything to like let like my stress out, you know, like I just went home and like did my homework and didn't have anything else to do. Definitely like at first it was like very low, like my mental health, like it was tough. As like I saw like my progress, like with like getting stronger, as I felt better, like it got better.
Did you return to your sport at the same level?
That was like the toughest part for me, was like being able to, like, will I be able to play like the same way that I played before? At first, like I was so scared to like go back, and you know, like you could tell, like my first game back, you can tell how scared I was. Like my coaches would tell me like, why are you hesitating? Like I was just so scared. I was scared to like hurt it again. Like every like move that I would make, like in my head I was thinking like, if I move this way, like it's gonna hurt it again. If I do this, like it's gonna move this way. And like I was never like ever thinking about that before, because I didn't even know that my knee could like, I didn't even know I had an ACL to tear. And now like I knew all this different stuff in my knee, and I knew all like these things that could happen. If anything, my knee is stronger than it was before, because like I put in so much work. But yeah, after like it took me a while to get past like those fears and like put it out of my head. But once I did, like I felt like I was playing at the same level or even like was playing better. Like I wanted to prove to myself that like I could play at the same level.
So, have you changed as a person because of this experience?
I would definitely say yeah. Like the whole experience was really like mind-opening for me because it's something that is like so unexpected, and like sitting on the bench and like watching your team play, like you don't realize how much like you want that to be you until like you can't play. I guess especially like these years, like when we're young and like we're playing at like our highest level, like you don't want to take that for granted. And yeah, so it also like gave me kind of insight on like myself, like how I chose to handle it. Like I chose to like push through it and like not let it hold me back. Like, and that was like something that I was proud of, like how I chose to like handle like the situation.
If you could give advice to someone going through a similar process, what would you say to them?
I'd say don't keep it bottled in. Make sure to talk to somebody about like how you're feeling and like keep going. You got this. And even though it's going to be hard at times, make sure to keep pushing, and like the process is going to lead to something good, you know? Like God always has a plan.
You really have to do your workouts, or else you're not going to be able to play 100% on the field, you know? Just to really work on yourself. And I know it's easier said than done, but you got to push yourself to do your workouts, you know, eat because you need fuel, and you need to drink water, and make sure that like you're taking care of yourself.
I think it's really important to like just finding ways to like motivate yourself, because like the stuff that you do like on your own time is so important. Like the exercises that they give you like to do at home, like you really need to do them.
No matter what happens, we are always there to support, right? You have to support your children. You love them unconditionally. You have to listen to what they are saying to you, and you have to hear, because listening and hearing go together. But as a parent, you can always pick up on the things in between that they might not be saying out loud to you. You have to understand that, you know, they're going through a rough time, and as a parent, it's all new to you as well. I had already said the support. You have to push them. You have to encourage them. They have to gain the confidence. They have to gain strength. You are your child's biggest fan. You are their cheerleader. You are super mom and you are super dad. You are Uber driver and taxi driver. You are coach. You are physiotherapists. You are also psychologists. And you have to have a lot of patience. Every day is a challenge for her and as parents. And of course you always want them to succeed and do their very best. And yeah, I guess those would be my words to any parent who has to go through this with their child. And I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Berman and his staff, and also to me. So thank you for taking care of her.
I would not be here if it weren't for the amazing people and the amazing staff at the Shriners Hospital. I want to take this time to thank everyone who was there, from the man who greets me at the front, the wonderful receptionist staff, Lauren, who's a receptionist on the physiotherapy floor. A big thank you to Munib, my physiotherapist, who put in so much time and effort with me and wasn't there only for me to work out, but also a person I can talk to. I'd also like to thank my sports therapist, my psychologist, and I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Berman and his surgical staff who operated on me and who was with me throughout this whole recovery process. So thank you, Dr. Berman, thank you, Tara McKenzie, thank you, Danielle, and another big thank you to my mom, my dad, and Emily and Allison.
Thank you for being there when I had nobody else. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you for helping me. Thank you for being my shoulder to cry on. Thank you for giving me hugs. Thank you for your unconditional love and support. I would not be in the position that I am today if it wasn't for you guys. And for that, I thank you. I thank everybody.